And realize your own problems inside, the mistakes you've tried to fade? These are the questions I now put to you, call them what you wish, but I think it's kind of true, that we first be people who like each other before we love, and beings who love each other when they want to dislike each other. Can you grow with me? And, more importantly, do you want to grow with anyone else but me? I could figure out the mathematics of the strange thing in my hand, and yet I knew not why it then began to beat and it moved and lightly pulsated, and it called up the world and it said, I am with someone now. In my heart I know only this girl I want to grow into the next model of me, and I no longer care if it is called fate or destiny. So I handed the calling device to this cyborg, and when she held it in her hands, it began to beat some more. She smiled, which was the most beautiful thing metal can do, at least to people like me, and maybe people like you. And then she handed it back to me, and it grew and grew, it took shape and forms of which I cannot describe, for of them I never in any book knew. Suddenly it took the form of a home, and it sprang upwards and then back down, our lives on its walls, a unified tone. We were instantly close, and looked into the other's eyes, and though sometimes it was threatened, no one ever gave truth to goodbye. You are gripping my hand so tight. She broke the spell of one, into two, and I realized I was in some cafe again, with a woman I barely knew. She was smiling at me lightly, and it was indeed a shapely way that tugged at my heart and made me wonder of yesterdays, now that I had let go of so many nows. Isn't that ironic? It's okay, you know, I get afraid of feeling things too. She said right then, and I felt in her words that my pain would never end, for she was right, and could see through me well. Across her shoulder, in the glass of the coffee place, I thought I saw some monitor appear with its screen as my face changes? I muttered, and then she put her face in front of mine. And that's when I realized what it all meant, and why now was the right time. Changes, she queried, and from her lips the word was so strange, and I saw her hoses and invisible plugs as gorgeous tentacles from her brain. Then changes, she said again, now so matter-of-factly, and it was as if she understood, with that one word, everything about me. She smiled again, her metal face and flesh melded so right, and all I knew was that I could sit with her silence for any dark night. I knew not why I needed to know no other face so intimately, I just knew hers was the only one I wanted for me in my own way. I then loved the whole world, but nothing could between me and this girl. I had to be with her. Though I knew not of her shape, I knew not how to calculate her love or formulate her mind. I had to live with her like she was infinite and pi. So I resolved right then to simply let things be, took her hand, and maybe, just maybe, had a real type of destiny. I don't know why, and I don't know how, we just met and all, but I am going to say something I have never before said so fast, but I took a deep breath. I think, no, I know, I am in love with you. Never had any sentence ended with a more powerful you. For saying it took my breath away, made me feel tired, and how I felt so alive and anew. I love you too, she said back, and I could hardly believe what was this thing that happened to us, to her, to me? But as I caught my brain circuits whirring around temporality again, I stopped them and let the infinite back in. We kissed then, and it was not sex or lust that moved it. Instead it felt like a satisfying return to home. Suddenly that little cafe became our place, and many years later, even after it was gone and became a flower shop, we frequented its space and bought whatever they sold. Sometimes, in my very old years, I would walk by its windows alone and catch a glimpse in its glass of the changes I had once known. They, and it, were always saying, to all of them you honor when you just laugh. Love changed everything for us. That late night and early morning we pulled our chairs side by side, but they could never be close enough. Later, at her simple flat, we cuddled close in bed while raindrops announced that to her window they'd just arrived at. Falling asleep so peacefully, and yet also with some fear, wondering if I'd awaken and she'd be gone, like some fleeing deer. But when I awoke I saw her staring at me and smiling, and we fell into each other's hold of beguiling. There was a chain that had formed, a solid plug-in, and it didn't matter whence it came or where it had ended. Pi was love, and it was endless and did not begin with itself, rather, it began when it ended. Like a book to a shelf or her to myself. For 69 years did we then live, in marriage, love, and our special truths, and though many times the cold winds threatened to take her blackened, diseased insides away, always, what I thought was too soon, she somehow fought back to hold my hand again, to be alive, to feed me and the cats with her gentle, caring hands. This is who she really was inside. I knew she disappeared to the world, but not to my eyes, only last week, and all I have done since is cry. I would like to say to all the young lovers today, that loss of this kind is something you can get over, but it's not. All you can do is go on in their place, think of them every day and try to smile when you can. Me, I have been hugging her pillow at night all week, smelling how she left it so subtly sweet, and though right now I have only sad memories, I am hopeful someday they will my own death appease, for never have I felt nothing left to live for more than right now. Then I heard Bowie is dead, and as a poetess I wondered how did he live so strong and silent, whilst knowing of his cancer? Why do I feel so weak after all these years I and my wife, Cam, had together? Will I ever find renewed strength, inside of me? To go on and live, to write about her and how we joined minds to see, how our lives were as one, under an impartial sun. Yes, it started as flirting and sex, but it was so much more than that. I cannot tell you a lie. We did not wait to have sex, nor fall in love, nor marry, live or die. Everything happened as it should, because we believed in a sweet lie, that destiny was a possibility under our skins and we wouldn't know until forever we tried. So, this is my honest account of how I came to write about the time I met her in Germany. So very long ago we met at a bar, and drank too much and went very far within. Just a few short hours, but the love we had was real, and do you know that from the moment we met, we never spent more than a day or two apart again. I sat down yesterday and worked all through the night to finish this strange poem. It may seem uneven, and this is why. There are many different ways to rhyme. It's not just about words that sound alike, rather, it's about ideas that work together so wrongly that they're right. So, forget what movies show you in their idealized form, or what you read in romance books. Love is not something you can intellectualize when it happens. It happens for good. Just look at me in these words. Though I am in massive pain, I wouldn't change the hold she has, even on me now. I wouldn't change her grip, alive or dead, not for any damn thing. I see the cats again, and I know they must be fed. They are like my memory of my cyborg self, and changes. Youth is a difficult time to deal with. We all are searching for meaning, which is more important than truth, and right now, those cats on the porch are my connection to her and to a feeling of use. I will somehow go on, for I cannot lose her love all over again. This I feel deep in my heart. I must live, I must keep her as begin and not as her end. Everywhere are changes as faces, and that which faces changes, hers and mine, yours, and love like the starving children and cats we must feed. It's time to step outside. But, even though I may appear as such, I know I will never be alone. This is her home. This is my home. Everywhere I go, she will follow me along. I just fed the cats again and found I fed my heart too. I swear I saw her face in all of theirs. While I don't yet feel glad, I do feel a purpose again. As long as someone has need and wants to be fed, I will be there with words, comfort, or bread. Bowie is forever here. He lives inside of me. My heart knows that he and my wife are not really dead. Those cats, you know, took to me like the love in her that found me as its forever room. I am staying with that love now that she seems to be gone, and I shall again find her anew. I never wavered in my decision, because once I knew, and so now you, too, know the auspicious way we first met. But I wanted to tell that love is everywhere. I can just feel it, I do, and, fellow cyborgs, that's just that. And they all lived, happily and foolishly sweet, ever after never.